Hi, I'm Carol Wilson, Chief Editor of Events for Light Reading, and I'm here today with Doug Junkins, the CTO for NTT Americas. And we're here at Light Reading's IPv6 event. So Doug, I know NTT has been in the IPv6 readiness business for a very long time, but from your standpoint, where are we in terms of the transition to IPv6?
I think the key that we're seeing right now is that 2010 was really the year that backbone providers really stepped up and made sure that all of the backbone networks were ready for IPv6. 2011 is really the year of the content. With World IPv6 Day, we've had content providers starting to really demonstrate that they're able to deliver new content over IPv6. And finally, I believe that 2012 will be the year that we actually start seeing eyeball networks start to deploy IPv6 on a wide-scale basis, and we'll start to see a real migration. So we're about halfway through the preparation for IPv6, and the real fun starts next year.
Okay, so is it going to be new applications and new devices that drive a lot of the IPv6 deployment?
I think initially it'll be a lot of the same applications that we see today, but IPv6 will really enable the innovation of new applications that are kind of stifled today because of the lack of end-to-end addressing. So IPv6 is really an enabling technology for those new applications that really needs to be deployed first.
Okay. Now, we're hearing a lot of talk about the way in which people get IPv6 connectivity, if they do if it's delivered natively by their service provider, if it's delivered through tunnels, through IPv4 networks, if it's delivered using large scale or carrier grade network address translation. From your standpoint, is there a better way of doing this?
Well, I think the ultimate goal for everyone is to have native IPv6 across the entire network. All of those technologies are very good because they actually enable people to start getting IPv6 connectivity without having to have the complete end-to-end picture in place. So I see them as necessary steps in the migration to an all IPv6 network.
Okay. As you said, we really saw major backbone providers moving before this year. Are there still networks out there, though, smaller ISPs that still have to take this preparation step?
There are a few that still have not made the step to IPv6. But in preparation for World IPv6 Day this year, we saw all but a handful of our peers actually be IPv6 enabled. So I was very encouraged by the depth of the deployment of IPv6 on backbone networks.
Okay, and what's the real risk of not being ready, of not getting ready in time?
Well, the real risk is when people start showing up with only IPv6 connectivity or mediocre transition mechanisms where if you don't have IPv6 available on your network, those people aren't going to have very high quality access to your customers and clients.
Okay, and kind of a last question here. We've heard a lot about mobile devices and machine-to-machine type communications, all of which, and I think you alluded to this in your earlier answer, may be stifled at this point because there's not this massive volume of IPv4 addresses to give out. What are you expecting to see there? Are we really expecting to see a very rapid ramp up of some of that innovation now?
I believe we will. I think there are going to be some new mobile applications as IPv6 gets deployed that really enable new types of communications directly between people without having to necessarily go into a formal compute environment, where it's more peer-to-peer type of sharing between mobile devices, whether that's experience that's going on at that time or any sort of meetup or social application.
Okay, good. Doug, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.